Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa and on this channel we talk about books. And today we're going to be doing my mid-year freakout tag. I know this is a little bit later than mid-year. I meant to upload this at the beginning of July to kind of be like the first 6 months of the year, but I kind of forgot about this video. So we're doing it now, close to the end of July, but it's fine. I'm gonna do mine the same way that like just Allie did hers. So she started off with her to date January to now storygraph statistics, so I'll go through those like very quickly, and then she did the mid-year freakout tag questions, about I think there's like 10 of them or something like that, and then she actually went through every single book that she read, said if she recommends it or not, what her rating was, and just like one sentence about it. So I'm gonna try to do the same, and we're gonna see how long this takes. So to start off with storygraph statistics, this is gonna be a little bit more than mid-year, but it's fine. So I've read 49 books so far. My goal for this year was to read 50, and I'm literally almost there. I'm in the middle of a book right now that will be my 50th book, but yeah, I've read 49 so far, so that's super great. I've read 18,091 pages, so that's awesome, and my goal for the year is 20,000. And for the moods, I'm just gonna list them in like in order of like the most to the least, meaning like most books had this mood, least books had this mood. So starting from most were emotional, and then dark, and then tense, mysterious, lighthearted, adventurous, funny, reflective, hopeful, sad, relaxing, and inspiring. Most of them are medium paced. There was some fast and like one slow paced book. Most of the books are like standard 300 to 499 pages. 10% were under 300, and then 6% were over 500. 98% were fiction. There was only probably one nonfiction. It's just not my style. I don't really love nonfiction. Sometimes I do, but not all the time. Genres, oh my goodness. I had 25 romance books, followed by 17 contemporary, 14 young adult, 11 mystery, 10 thriller, 9 fantasy, 5 literary, 3 horror, 2 historical, 1 middle grade, which I already know which one this is, 1 LGBTQ, 1 science fiction, and 1 memoir. My most read authors were Taylor Jenkins Reid and Holly Black, which does make sense. And my average star rating so far this year has been 4.3 stars. So that's actually really good. That means I've been having a really good reading year. So yeah, that's it for storygraph statistics. So now I'm gonna do the mid-year freakout tag questions. This is gonna be my first time like looking at them. All right, to start off, best book you've read so far in 2023. Oh my goodness. I have all of my books like laid out in front of me. Oops. So bear with me while I decide. Best book I've read so far. I feel like it has to be a fantasy for some reason. For this one, I'm gonna go with, actually I have 2 choices for this. Vow of Thieves or Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing, everybody already knows the hype around this book. I don't really need to explain it, but it genuinely was one of the best fantasy books that I've ever read. So I feel like I just have to put that book for this. And Vow of Thieves, just, I sobbed so much. Like, I loved this book and the duology so much. I read Dance of Thieves right at the end of 2022, so it technically isn't in this year or mid-year wrap-up, but I read Vow of Thieves right at the beginning of 2023, and it was freaking gorgeous. I loved it. Best sequel you've read so far in 2023. Best sequel. Okay, well, I've only read a few. Oh, OMG. Look, I'm answering this not like, there are books here that are sequels to a book that are better than this book, but in terms of like the best sequel, I'm literally evaluating it on how good of a sequel it is. I have to pick As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, sorry, by Holly Jackson. Just the way it tied the entire series together after the first 2 books, it literally an immaculate sequel. New release you haven't read yet but want to. A new release I haven't read yet but want to. Oh. Alright, for this one, I'm gonna say The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is his new book. Or her, I actually have no idea. Okay. His new book, and oh my god, I love Riley Sager's writing. I have read, I think 2 now. I actually don't see them. They're somewhere in here. And his writing is just so good. So I want to read this. This one just came out like this month, I think, and I picked it up. So yeah, I definitely want to read this one. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Oh my goodness. Okay. I have a few pre-orders that I already have coming for the second half of the year. Honestly, probably Iron Flame, which is the second book in the like Fourth Wing series. Yeah, after reading Fourth Wing, I'm so excited for Iron Flame. I like wanted to read Fourth Wing because the hype, but I almost wish I waited. But at the same time, like I realized, I think someone else said this in their video, but I realized this is like the first fantasy book that I'm probably going to be reading like as it comes out, because yeah, I read it like right after it came out. I'm gonna read the second one right after it comes out, so we'll see. I feel like I'll be experiencing it like the true way that it's supposed to be experienced. Biggest surprise, I think I'm gonna say the Percy Jackson Lightning Thief book. Okay, don't come for me. The only reason I'm saying this is a surprise is because like I know the series is good, I know a lot of people liked it when they were kids, but like I genuinely thought like it would read super childish and like meant for 12-year-olds and like middle grade kids, but it actually read so much like older than that, and yeah, I loved it. So it was a huge surprise for me. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. Favorite new author? This is a great question. For favorite new author, I'd probably have to say maybe Alice Feeney. Like, she's new to me. I think I love her writing. Like it always has you kind of like confused and like you don't actually know what's going on. Otherwise, Taylor Jenkins Reid, like I just fell more in love with her books this year. So, but she's not new to me. So newest fictional crush. Okay, Xaden in Fourth Wing, yes. And also, what's his name in Icebreaker? Nathan? Yeah, Nate. Oh my god. He's so good. Yeah, those are probably my two fictional crushes right now. I just love Xaden. I don't know why. He just gives such good bad boy energy. Book that made me cry. We all know Vow of Thieves made me absolutely sob, but there's a book I was reading that I was literally like, oh my god, I can't stop crying. Honestly, I haven't cried at books this much this year compared to last year. Oh, for some reason, Twisted Love made me absolutely sob. I don't know why. So yeah, and Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing I cried a little bit. Obviously, If I Had Told Her I cried, but yeah, I don't know, I just haven't cried as much at books this year. Vow of Thieves is probably the one that made me cry the most this year still, and that was at the beginning of the year. Books that made me happy. Honestly, Icebreaker's vibes just made me so happy. I just love this book so much. The entire time I was reading it, I was just so happy. Even when there was a conflict going on, just the way that they dealt with it made me so happy. So I'm gonna have to pick Icebreaker for that one. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year or received? Most beautiful book? Oh my goodness. Literally, I have no idea. The most beautiful book I've bought or received? I bought the Fairy Loot exclusive edition of Stolen Air for my best friend, and that is probably the most beautiful book that I bought this year. Like, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But that one, like, it wasn't for me. It was for my best friend. So it's kind of hard for me to, like, answer this question. Yeah, we're just gonna go with Stolen Air exclusive edition. Not for me, but an absolutely gorgeous book that I did purchase with my own money. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? Oh my god, everything on this shelf. No, I definitely want to read The Final Gambit so I can finish the Inheritance Game series. There's a few series that I really want to start. I want to read the Carvels. I know that you don't need to read it before Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I think I just want to, so I think I'm going to read the Carvel series so I can read Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After, yes, and The Curse of Love or something that's coming out soon. I definitely need to read the Throne of Glass series so I can read Crescent City, because the third one is coming out and I keep seeing spoilers on social media from the second one and it's really bugging me. So I need to read that one. And yeah, there's so many books I need to read this year, to be honest, but those are like the ones I can think of off the top of my head. Okay, so now I'm just like as fast as possible gonna go through every book that I read this year. We're gonna start from January and kind of take it from there, and yeah. Alright, so I started off this year with The X-Talk. I rated this book 3.75 stars. It wasn't bad. I remember enjoying it, but it just being like kind of annoying and slow. I probably wouldn't recommend this book, but I have heard that Rachel and Solomon's other books are really good, so I am gonna give them a try, but this one particularly I think you can probably skip. Then I read Vow of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I rated this like 5-6 stars. This was one of my favorite books this year, even to this date, and I just loved it so much. I would definitely recommend this duology. it is the best depiction of dual POV enemies to lovers that I've ever seen, ever. It's up there with Fourth Wing though. Fourth Wing kind of gave it a run for its money. Next, I read The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. This I rated 4.25 stars. I would definitely recommend this book. It was very intriguing, very interesting, a lot of psychology components in it, and just, yeah, very twisty story, kind of has you in a hold for the whole time, and then at the end you're like, whoa, what is going on? This is kind of crazy. So yeah, definitely would recommend that. And then I read One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I rated this, again, 5 stars, 6 stars. This was just so good. This was about this girl who her fiance or husband or whatever goes missing, and she mourns him for years, reconnects with her childhood best friend and falls in love, and then finds out that he's her ex, or her fiance who disappeared is actually alive, and she has to make a decision. This is part of Taylor Jenkins Reid's like backlist of books that have like these kind of concepts where it makes you like question life and time and choices and everything. Yeah, so I would definitely recommend this book and just like her whole backlist of these books. That was really all that I read in January. So moving on to February. In February, I started off with The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. I rated this 3.75 stars. I actually would recommend this. It was really fun. I found it a little bit slow and confusing in the beginning. I don't know if it was because I audiobooked the beginning part of it, so I definitely recommend reading the physical copy of this if you can, because you kind of really need to pay attention and follow along. But it was a very interesting story, and I found the way it kind of wrapped up really fun. Then I read Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. This is the only memoir that I read this year, and I actually rated it 4 stars. I actually quite liked it. It kind of felt like a bunch of like mini essays and like stories about this girl going through her 20s and, you know, going to parties, going on dates, experiencing things at jobs, things with her friends. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I would recommend it, especially if you're in your 20s right now. Then I read Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. This was a 6-star read for me. I would definitely recommend this. I don't know what else to say. It was such a cute grumpy sunshine, like reverse grumpy sunshine, and the found family and just the side kind of like plots of the friends and stuff is just so much fun in this, and the entire story was just so cute and so much fun and lovely winter vibes. Like, read this in the winter if you can. Then I read The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I rated this 3.75 stars, but I still would recommend it. I still thought it was really cute. It just, I don't know, I think I was just, in romances, YAs usually don't do it for me. This one was just really freaking cute with all of the like movie references and stuff, so that's why I would recommend it. If you love rom-coms, you'll love this book. But if you're into more like adult romances, then you might end up feeling like me, but I would still recommend it. Moving on to March, I started off with The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. So surprisingly, I rated this 2.5 stars. If this was a standalone, I would not recommend this book, to be honest. I know that's really disappointing. My wrap up for, I think, whatever month this was, March, literally had a whole rant about this book. I don't know why. I just didn't like it, but I've heard amazing things about the second and third books, and because it is a series, I think you have to read this one. So the verdict is still out because I haven't read the second and third one, but if they are worth it, then I guess read this to get to those ones. Next, I read The Assassin's Blade. Oh my goodness. I rated this like 6 stars. This was only a prequel and I loved it so much. I did start off with this book for the series, and yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I need to read the whole series this year. I have like 2 quotes that are tabbed here, and it's just, oh my god. Every time I think about these prequels, I'm like not prepared. I'm not prepared for how much pain I'm gonna go through in the whole series. Like, Sam, I'm gonna start crying. Definitely recommend this. Just the prequel makes me emotional, so definitely recommend reading this. Oh my god. Okay, I need to contain myself. Okay, then I read The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I rated this 4.25 stars. I really actually enjoyed this, and I would definitely recommend this. This series was actually really fun, and you'll hear my ratings for the rest of the books because I actually finished this whole series this year because it was that much fun. And that's not to say it's better than like Throne of Glass or anything. It's less intimidating as a fantasy as well. It was very easy to very easy to digest, and the characters and the setting is just so detailed and fun to be in. Like, you just want to be in this world all the time. Then I read Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. Is this the one with the references? It is. So what's in the do-over? Oh, I screwed up big time. My review for this is not the one with the like rom-com references. It does feel like a rom-com with like the Valentine's Day thing and like everything that goes on, like Groundhog Day situation, but I kind of mixed up my brain. I would still recommend this though. But Better Than the Movies is the one that is based off of like rom-coms, and every chapter references a rom-com movie. And yeah, now that I'm like, because I was kind of confused, I was like, why didn't I like this book? I really remember liking this book. Yeah, I rated this one 4.5 stars because I loved it so much, and even though this was a YA and was an adult, I still really freaking loved it and thought it was adorable. It was so cute. So I would definitely recommend this. I honestly love Lynn Painter's writing, so I would recommend any of her books. And then we read Mary Jane by Jessica Anya Blau. I was surprised by this one. This was one that I read for, I'm pretty sure it was like reading Haley Pham's favorite books, and this was one of her favorite books last year or whatever. I don't know. She talked about this book a lot, surprisingly. And I ended up rating it 4.5 stars. The cast of characters in here were just so much fun, and the story was so much fun, so I definitely recommend it. It's like a historical literary fiction. It's not romance or contemporary or any of that. I mean, it's written contemporary, but what I mean is like it's based in like the 70s, yeah. So yeah, it was just lots of fun. Kind of gave like I can't speak today. Kind of gave like Daisy Jones and the Six vibes-ish. After that, we read The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I rated this like a 6-star kind of read. I loved this so much. The twists and the turns. At no point do you know what the heck is going on, and that's what I love about Riley's writing and just these books in general. I would definitely recommend this. Like, this was one of the best books I read this year. So surprising the entire time. And then also in March, we read The Roughest Draft by Emily Wibberley and Austin Segrin Broca. I'm pretty sure they are married. I rated this 4 stars. I would recommend this. It's a dual POV, like 2 writers working together on a romance book, but they're exes and they used to date and they like hate each other now. So you kind of get to find out, I don't know if they were exes or they just like had a falling out as like partners or whatever, probably due to the fact that they wanted to be together. Anyway, I really don't remember, but I just remember really liking it. So yeah. So after The Roughest Draft, I read Below Zero. So that's like a little novella in this Loath to Love You thing with by Ali Hazelwood, sorry. And I rated that 4 stars. I actually thought it was really cute. It's about like this couple, not a couple, these 2 people, they like work for NASA, and something happens that the girl went out and did something dangerous, and then like the guy has to save her and whatever, and it's just very, very cute actually. I really enjoyed actually all of the novellas in here, but this last one was the one that I read this year. Then I read Daisy Jones and the Six, and I rated this like a 6-star read. I love this so much. I would definitely recommend it. It was honestly so much fun, and I would definitely recommend listening to the audiobook with this because the way the story is told through the audiobook is just phenomenal. I watched the show right after, loved it, have all the albums on my Spotify, just so good. Okay, moving on to April. I started off with The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I rated this a 6-star read as well. I thought it was so freaking good. The story in this was so good, and the single mom trope I just loved, so I would definitely recommend this. It was my first Christina Lauren book, and it got me hooked on their books, so yeah, definitely loved the writing. I had picked up The Midnight Club in March, but finished it in April, and this is by Christopher Pike. There is a show on Netflix that this is based off of. This was another like surprising read for me. I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. It's very, very short. It's only like 200 pages. I actually rated it 4 stars. I thought there was a lot of good messages in this, just interesting to read. I don't know. I just really liked it. It is a very different from the show, so don't go in it expecting the same thing as the show, but it's loosely based off of this book for the most part. I also had started in March A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. This is the not final book. Wait. Yeah, there's more books coming out for Avatar, isn't there? I don't know. Anyway, the final book that's out like right now. This took me a while to read. I started it in March and ended up finishing in April. I did rate it 4 stars. I felt like I couldn't rate it lower than 4 stars because it was phenomenally written and it was very good. But oh my god, the first like half was just so long and slow, and I feel like this book could have been like as long as ACOTAR was, like maybe 500 pages, not the like almost 800 pages that it was. So yeah, that's how I felt about that. Sorry. I would still recommend this book though, and the entire series, so definitely read the ACOTAR series. Like, don't get me wrong, read the whole series, it's very good. Then I read If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nolan. I rated this 4 stars. I actually really would recommend this. The story was very quick, very easy, very sad, but also very cute and wholesome, and throughout most of it you feel like you're reading just like a really nice rom-com, and then it rips your heart out. Yeah, but I would still recommend it for sure. This is one of Sarah Crowley's like favorite books. Then I read Heart of a Raven Prince by Tassandra Odette, and I rated this 6 stars. I loved this so much. It was a Cinderella retelling and it gave all the fairy tale vibes. I was literally watching the Cinderella Disney cartoon movie while I was reading it, and the music in the background and everything, just immaculate vibes. It was just so much fun, and I would recommend this to anyone. Yeah, just so cute. So freaking cute. And then I read Addicted to You by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I rated this 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I thought it was a very interesting and complex story. The romance was cute. The best friend to lovers, oh my god, they are so good as friends. I love them as friends. And yeah, I'm excited to start the rest of the series this year, but I really did enjoy this and I would definitely recommend reading it. Then I read Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I rated this 5 stars. It wasn't like a 6-star read for me, but it was 5 stars, if you know what I mean. This was also super twisty turny. Loved, this is my first Alice Feeney book. Loved her writing, and yeah, I would definitely recommend it to everybody, to be honest. This is one of Sarah Crowley's favorite books as well, and she just has good taste. Good taste. Then I read Bunny by Mona Awad, and oh my goodness, this was a crazy book. I rated this 4.5 stars. I would recommend reading it, but you may not understand what the hell is going on, and that's okay. And I know a lot of people said they didn't like it because they had to look up stuff at the end. I didn't mind that, and I did understand most of it throughout, but it just takes you a minute to like understand what the heck is going on. But at first you're like, this makes no sense. But yeah, I would still recommend it. Rated it 4.5 stars. Thought it was pretty good. It was very enjoyable to me. And then I read The Inheritance Games and The Hawthorne Legacy by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, and I rated both of these 6 stars. This series is so freaking insanely good. I don't know what else to say. I'm waiting for my paperback copy of The Final Gambit to come at the end of this month for me to read it finally, but oh my god, I could not recommend this series enough. The hype around it is so real. It's kind of like Knives Out, so I recommend this so much. Just read it. All right, moving on to May. May is when I went on vacation, so some of the books I actually don't have with me. Starting off with The Perfect Couple by Elin Hilderbrand. I brought this on vacation with me, read it, and left it there. I rated this 3.75 stars. I thought it was pretty good. I wouldn't necessarily like recommend it to someone, but I wouldn't say don't read it. Like, it was a good story. It was a nice mystery, but I think there's probably other Elin Hilderbrand books that are better, but still like pretty good. So I wouldn't not recommend it, but I wouldn't recommend it either. Then I read The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This was actually pretty freaking good. I rated this 4.25 stars. It had a lot of twists and turns, very thriller-y, kept me on my toes, kept me entertained on my vacation. So I actually would recommend that book. I did leave it there because I just like, I know I'm never gonna read it again. Like mystery thrillers, a lot of the time, like I'm probably not gonna read again, and I don't really need it on my shelf unless I absolutely love the book, but because until I like forget the twists. And then on my way home, I finished Set on You by Amy Leah, which I'd started in April. Now, I was a little bit disappointed in this. I rated it 3.5 stars. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I read it because I wanted to read X's and O's, and this is the first one in that like companion novel series, so that's why I read it. But if this was alone on its own, I probably wouldn't recommend it to you. It was good, but it wasn't great. So then I got back home and read Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. I rated this 6 stars. I love this so freaking much. I cannot recommend this enough. It's a like childhood friends to lovers second chance romance, then and now dual point of view. It's not dual point of view, but then and now perspective, and it was just so good, so freaking good. I can't recommend this enough. Next I read Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I rated this 4.5 stars. I freaking love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. Like, even if a book is mostly about tennis. I just love her writing so much. I can't, like, I recommend every Taylor Jenkins Reid book, but this especially, it just kind of took you into that world. Like, it's like our world does not exist. Like, I want to live in the Taylor Jenkins Reid universe, not this one. Oh, I skipped a book, but it's fine. We read Happy Place next by Emily Henry. I also rated this 6 stars. It was so good. Felt exactly like an Emily Henry book would feel. Kind of like side plot in the way that she reads as like a literary fiction instead of a romance. I just love, and I can't recommend her books enough. Like, definitely read Happy Place. It is up there with Beach Read for me. And then we read His and Hers by Alice Feeney. I rated this 4.25 stars. This was another twisty turny Alice Feeney book that I would recommend. Every Alice Feeney book I've read, well, this is the second one, both of them I've really loved, and yeah, just the twists and turns that happen in it is so good and has you on your toes the whole time, so definitely recommend. And then we read Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. I actually would recommend this one initially, but after further thought, someone I recommended this book to literally was like, the ending was so crap that the rest of the book that was good wasn't like worth it. So I don't really know if I would recommend this. I rated it 4 stars, but yeah, it's really mixed reviews on this. So I guess try it, see if it's your thing, but the ending was kind of weird and just, I don't know, it was weird. And then we read If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio, and I rated this 4.5 stars. I really like this one. I don't know. It was just, the Shakespeare theater vibes were really fun, and although the ending and like the mystery part of it was kind of predictable and I could figure it out, the way it was written and the way it was revealed I still really liked. So yeah, I would recommend this book actually. Moving on to, I think this is June, June. This is June, I think. June? Okay. We start off June strong with The Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I obviously rated this 6 stars. I've already talked about this. I can't recommend this book enough. That's it. You need to read the book. I know some people thought the hype was not deserved, but I disagree. I think it was deserved. Then I read Hooked by Emily McIntyre. I rated this 2.75 stars. I was liking it, and then the entire middle part was just so dumb that it ruined the whole book for me. So I actually wouldn't recommend this one. I've heard that the other ones in this like series are better, so I'm gonna try them, but I wouldn't really recommend this one. I don't know. And then I read The Wicked King by Holly Black, and I like this one a lot. I also rated this one 4.5 stars, like Cool Prince. And yeah, it was just a very good second book to the series. I really like the whole Cruel Prince trilogy, so I would just recommend like all of them to you. So yeah, definitely I would recommend this book. Then I read Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune, and this was honestly a disappointment to me. I rated it 2.5 stars, and I feel like I was being like kind of generous. I did like some parts of it and some of the vibes, but again, like Carly did that thing where it just ruined the book, and I wouldn't recommend it to be honest. Like no, it was disappointing. Then I read The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and oh my god, this was so good. I rated it 4.5 stars. I wasn't as invested in it as I should have been. I think it was just the mood that I was in, but I can objectively say it's a very well written book. But I talked about it in the video that like when I read it, that there's some things in it that like if you are a mythology nerd, like you're not gonna really like it, so take that as you will, but I would still recommend this book. And then I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang and started the Twisted series, and I rated this 6 stars. It made me cry, it made me feel so many feelings, and I would recommend this for sure. This isn't everybody's favorite book from the series, which is surprising to me because I loved it, so I'm reading the second one right now, so we're gonna see how it goes, but I would still recommend this one. Okay, and then moving on to July, because that's the month that we're on right now, and we're just gonna like quickly, like I'm gonna talk about these books more detailed in my July wrap up at the end of the month, but just really quick, like very quick. I start off the month with All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I rated this 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I had watched the movie already, so but it was a cute book. Like I would recommend it, especially if you haven't watched the movie. It would probably be better for you. Then I read As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I rated this 6 stars. Like this was an amazing sequel to the series. I can't recommend this series enough. The A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Oh my goodness. So good. So good. Read this series. Read it. This is the series. Part of that series is this new prequel called Killjoy. I would definitely recommend this too, actually. I thought it was just really cute, and if you loved the Good Girl Guide to Murder series and just want to get back in that like mindset of Pip really quick for like 117 pages. This is really cute, so I would recommend it. I actually rated it 4 stars, so pretty good for a little like novella. And then I read We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han, and surprisingly I would recommend this. Even though I rated it 3 stars, I would recommend this series. It's just good summer vibes, and I would recommend the show even more. I don't know why. Even though I rated it so low, I would recommend it though. I don't know why. Maybe it's the hype, maybe it's the trend, I don't know. Don't ask me. After that, we read It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I really wish I just didn't read this, to be honest. I could have just not read this. I rated it 3 stars. I wouldn't recommend it. You don't need to read it. You don't need the Ellen letters again. We don't need it. No. But then I read The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black, which is the final book in the Cruel Prince trilogy, and I rated this 4.25 stars. It was very fast, a lot of crap happens, and the ending was a little bit unrealistic for me, but I still enjoyed it and I would still recommend this whole series, so yeah. And then I just finished The Lightning Thief by Percy, not by Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief in the Percy Jackson Olympian series by Rick Riordan. I surprisingly rated this 6 stars. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be, and I've already watched the movie, but obviously it was so much better than the movie, and I do have the entire box set, so I'm probably gonna end up reading the rest, so I would recommend this series. It's my fiance's favorite book series ever, so yeah. There were some other books that I read this year that I didn't end up finishing, like The Vacationers I left on vacation, and then Binding 13 I kind of am in the middle of and I never picked up again. I don't know if I'm going to DNF it yet. I haven't felt the need to go back to it, so we'll see. But yeah, and as I said, I'm in the middle of Twisted Games right now. And yeah, that's our mid-year check-in. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'm so sorry it's super long. I'm gonna try and see if I can edit this down as much as possible and make it 30 minutes only. I don't know how Allie did this 18 minutes long. Queen. I'm gonna have a fun time editing. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Comment down below what you guys read this year, if you read any of the same books, what you're excited to read for the rest of the year. And yeah, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe because it really helps me when you guys do that. And I hope you have a good day or whenever you're watching this, and I hope to see you in the next one.